Life is very interesting because in the end, some of your greatest pains become your greatest strength. Namaskar, welcome to PT Pointers, and in this video, we are going to cover major headlines of the Hindu, Indian Express, and Press Information Bureau. So, without wasting any time, let's start today's discussion. And our first headline is related to China's Belt and Road Initiative. एंड रिसेंटली इसको 10 साल पूरे हो चुके हैं. नाउ लेट्स नो मोर अबाउट इट. तो फ्रेंड्स, इट वाज प्रपोज्ड बाय चाइना इन 2013 टू इंप्रूव कनेक्टिविटी एंड कोऑपरेशन ऑन ट्रांसकॉन्टिनेंटल स्केल, and it was previously known as One Belt, One Road initiative. And with the help of this, China wants to build infrastructure such as ports, bridges, and rail lines in over 150 countries spanning Asia, Africa, and Europe. And do you know, friends, India refrained from joining the Belt and Road Initiative due to its concern on the issue of sovereignty and territorial integrity. Our next headline is related to Prevention of Money Laundering Act. And ये न्यूज में भी इसलिए है क्योंकि सुप्रीम कोर्ट will hear review petition challenging various provisions of Prevention of Money Laundering Act on November 22nd. And do you know, friends, in July 2022, Supreme Court upheld the validity of various provisions of the Act which empowers ED to make arrest, conduct search and seizures and attach proceeds of crime. Now let's know more about the Act. So friends, it was enacted in January 2003 and it came into force in July 1st, 2005. Parliament enacted the Act as a result of international commitment to sternly deal with the menace of money laundering of proceeds of a crime having transnational consequences and on financial systems of the countries. Its Section 3 defines offense of money laundering and Section 45 deals with offenses to be cognizable and non-bailable. And Section 50 of the Act empowers the authority to summon any person to give evidence or produce records. बाकी इसको हमारी वेबसाइट पे बहुत अच्छे से एक्सप्लेन किया गया है एंड लिंक अवेलेबल करा दिया गया है डिस्क्रिप्शन में. सो फॉर बेटर अंडरस्टैंडिंग यू कैन गो थ्रू दोस आर्टिकल्स जिनका लिंक डिस्क्रिप्शन में अवेलेबल है. आवर नेक्स्ट हेडलाइन इज रिलेटेड टू लार्ज लैंग्वेज मॉडल्स. एंड ये न्यूज में भी इसलिए है क्योंकि रिसेंटली इट हैज बीन अनाउंस्ड दैट इंडिया विल सेट अप अ हाई पावर्ड कमिटी to explore the development of large language model tools that harness artificial intelligence to create applications that can understand and process human language. And do you know, friends, large language models are foundation models that use artificial intelligence, deep learning, and massive data sets, including websites, articles, and books to generate text, translate between languages, and write many types of content. There are two types of these generative AI models, and these are proprietary large language models and open source large language models. Our next headline is related to Prohibition of Child Marriage Bill 2021, जिसको इंट्रोड्यूस किया गया था लोकसभा में इन दिसंबर 2021. एंड ये न्यूज में भी इसलिए है क्योंकि पार्लियामेंट्री पैनल जो कि एग्जामिन कर रहा था बिल को गेट्स अनदर एक्सटेंशन. एंड इस पार्लियामेंट्री पैनल में 31 मेंबर हैं जिसमें 3 वुमेन एमपीज भी इंक्लूडेड हैं. द प्रोहिबिशन ऑफ चाइल्ड मैरिज बिल 2021 was introduced for raising the age of marriage of women to 21 years to make it at par with the men. It seeks to bring parity in the minimum age of marriage for men and women, overriding all existing laws including any custom, usage or practice governing the parties in relation to marriage. And do you know, friends, government has enacted Prohibition of Child Marriage Act 2006 in order to curb child marriages and to take punitive actions against those associated with child marriages. And since enactment of this act, prevalence of child marriage has reduced by half from 47% in 2006 to 23.3% during 2019-21 as per National Family Health Survey 5. But few states such as Andhra Pradesh, Assam, Bihar, Jharkhand, Rajasthan, Telangana, Tripura and West Bengal have high prevalence of child marriages than national average as per the National Family Health Survey 5. Our next headline is related to minimum support prices and ये न्यूज में अभी इसलिए है क्योंकि recently Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs has increased the minimum support prices for all Rabi crops for financial year 24-25 to ensure remunerative prices to the growers for their produce. Now let's know more about minimum support prices. So friends, they are the prices at which the government procures certain crops from the farmers to ensure them against any sharp fall in prices. It is an integral component of agriculture policy. It is declared by the government based on the recommendations of the Commission for Agricultural Cost and Prices after considering the views of state governments, central ministers or departments concerned for agricultural crop and commercial crops every year at the beginning of both the crop seasons, and factors considered for fixing MSP include cost of production, domestic and international prices, demand-supply conditions, intercrop price parity, terms of trade between agricultural and non-agricultural sector. Now recently, the Minister for Backward Classes Welfare in Andhra Pradesh stated that the state will begin a backward class census from November 15th. And do you know friends, expression OBC was coined to denote backward or marginalized communities and caste that were not scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. OBCs have been generally identified on the basis of their occupation, like cultivation of own land, tenant farming, agricultural labor, cultivation and selling of vegetables, fruits and flowers, cattle rearing, washing of clothes, carpentry, blacksmith, oilseed crushing, pottery, stone cutting, etc. And demand for reservation for the backwards among OBCs has gained traction as the feeling has grown that handful of upper OBCs have grabbed most of the benefits of 27% reservation that came with the implementation of the Mandal Commission recommendations. And Mandal Commission identified more than 3,000 caste and communities as OBCs and estimated their population at 52% and recommended 27% reservation in government jobs and admissions to all government-run scientific, technical and professional institutions. And पहला OBC Commission constitute किया गया था जवाहरलाल नेहरू के द्वारा, which was headed by Kaka Kalelkar in 1953, and second OBC Commission was appointed in 1979 by Morarji Desai Janata government, and in October 2017 a new commission for subcategorization of OBCs was constituted under Justice G. Rohini, which submitted its report in July this year, but its contents are not public. Our next headline is related to Bihu, which is a festival of Assam, and there are three Bihu festivals, namely Bhuag Bihu, which is celebrated in middle of April, Magh Bihu, जिसको celebrate किया जाता है middle of January, and Kati Bihu, which is celebrated in the middle of October, and each Bihu festival has its own significance and is celebrated with its own traditions. Our next headline is related to Regional Rapid Transit System, and ये न्यूज में भी इसलिए है क्योंकि इंडिया का पहला रीजनल रैपिड ट्रांजिट सिस्टम लॉन्च किया जाएगा प्राइम मिनिस्टर ऑफ इंडिया के द्वारा ऑन अक्टूबर 20th. Regional Rapid Transit System is a new rail-based semi-high speed and high-frequency commuters transit system, and it has speed of 180 km per hour. It is in line with PM Gati Shakti National Master Plan. It will have an extensive multimodal integration with railway stations, metro stations and bus services, etc. Our next and last headline is related to Yuva Sangam Phase 3, and ये न्यूज में भी इसलिए है क्योंकि the registration portal for Phase 3 of Yuva Sangam under एक भारत श्रेष्ठ भारत was launched recently. Yuva Sangam एक initiative है गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया का to strengthen people-to-people connect between youth belonging to different states or union territories of India and interested youth in the age group of 18 to 30 years, mainly students, NSS and NYKS volunteers, employed or self-employed persons, etc. may register through Yuva Sangam portal to participate in the forthcoming phase. It was launched under Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat initiative and it draws inspiration from National Education Policy 2020 and it focuses on experimental learning and imbibing knowledge of rich biodiversity of India on a first-hand basis. So with this, let's conclude our today's discussion. Thanks for listening and for regular updates, you can follow us on various social media platforms.